Hello and welcome to today's Pitch Deck Clinic, where I'm with Paul and Kim from the Beauty app. So team, tell us in 30 seconds, what is the Beauty app?
Hi there. I'm Kim. I'm the founder and CEO of the Beauty app. This is Paul. He's the CTO and co-founder of the Beauty app. The Beauty app came about because we identified a gap in the beauty and wellness industry. And that gap was around managing cancellations, last minute cancellations and availability and getting them out to clients in time. We created the app in order to bridge that gap and to give clients real-time appointment availability. But we came across the issue of a two-sided marketplace where we would have salons matched with local active clients in their area. What the salons were telling us was that they wanted a booking system, and we realised that by creating the booking system, we could overcome the issue we were having with the two-sided marketplace. So we created a booking system which we offer out as a free product to salons and mobile therapists. It works in sync with the Beauty app, taking cancellations from the booking system and pushing that out to active clients, and we're continuing to grow that out and add additional functionality to that.
And I think the easiest thing for us is to recognise that everybody works across mobile channels, email, text messaging, Facebook. So the key is modern applications that are really scalable, really interoperable, and actually at the end of the day just works for everybody with simplicity.
All right, I like that. I'm always amazed that there you're on Facebook or something. You see a post about something, and then there's a huge journey to go and find the website to book. So if you can smooth that, that would be awesome. Okay, so when I got to your slide deck, it's called the Beauty app, and it's for salons. So I was picturing in my mind there would be when I go to my local Rush, I was imagining a busy desk, somebody standing there, a lifestyle thing, but instead I got something sort of black. And of course, the black bit could mean, it's a super clean Bauhaus design. But I think your styling overall is a bit off-key for your market. So I think your market is probably people who are less technical. They're busy. And I think, although a key point is slide decks are, of course, for investors. They're not for customers. But I think investors project what a customer might want. They look to your slide deck as if almost it was your website. Obviously, it's pitched to them. But I think as we go through this, let's have a look quickly at the look and feel. So slide one, it's stark, which is great, but it could be lifestyle. Slide two, there's a lot of text, right? So if you want to sell in the mind of the investor that you've got a super slick experience, this is now perhaps leading him to think, oh, wait, if the design here, how does it match the design of the app? The next one, I think, is now turning roughly to the messaging. So I think the perfect slide deck, and of course it varies by team and by sector, but it's a story. And the story to me is opening slide, the lifestyle, but then the story is, this is what we do. This is the problem we're solving. The next thing is something about the product, how we're solving it. Then there is who's our competition. Then there's the market size. Then there's a team. And then there's how much we're looking for. So what you've done is, sometimes team comes first, but you've jumped to team first. But if I look at this, the biggest logos on this page, I would have expected to see either competitors or beauty salons or something, but you've got RBS and Deutsche Bank. So there's a cognitive dissonance. What I would do is move the slide to the end, get rid of the logos of banks and so on, because they're not in sync with the target market. And also, have pictures of you. So 2 nice pictures, beauty salon background or something like that, showing that you are perfect for the target market. And the fact you've got a banking in it, but obviously you're going to show your CTO and CEO credentials and so on in there as well. All right. So you haven't yet shown me what the product is, but you're already talking about the business model. So I think that's putting a bit the cart before the horse. I would expect. So one of the things that investors are going to be looking for is they want to see how mature your product is. Because when people come to an investor, the investor's thinking, have they built anything yet? Have they validated? Do they have customers? The longer you delay the where we are, I think is more difficult. So I love to see at this point a picture of a mobile phone or a picture of Facebook with the book here button or something, and suddenly the entire thing will jump to life. Let's take a look at now the next thing, which is the messaging part. So you've got freemium and subscription. All right, I probably wouldn't put aligned with Google and Amazon because those are both, multifaceted businesses, and we don't know what part it relates to. Global development presence. Not sure what that means. Is that your target market or is that your development? But hold on that. Okay, so I think what we've got here is some business speak, omni-channel and so on. But I think the way to win over the investor is they're going to be channeling the person standing at your target market salon, figuring out how I, make my day go more efficiently, or a user looking to book. So if it was me, I would lose the, sort of business speak and instead focus on the messaging that either your customer, or their customer would be looking for. So now we come to the products. And this is the slide that were I to be doing grand designs or extreme makeover, I would be looking to do the extreme makeover. So this is like obviously seriously busy. And I would unpick this over several pages. I'd make it look like a computer with, some picture in it. And now you want to, instead of cramming it all on one page, let it breathe, because the whole proposition, you've got beauty in the title, you've got beauty in the target, but there's not beauty on this slide. So I would put this over maybe 4 slides, which is slide 1, the fastest way to organize your bookings or something like that. Slide 2 is, easily see day to day. Slide 3 is, project your monthly revenues or whatever it might be. And that's clearly signposted as, for the salon. And I'd also put color on this so that it just comes to life and, harmonizes with beauty in the title. Okay, so we now switch to valuation and so on. And I'm guessing pretty soon there'll be a slide about market size and so on, which in fact, spot on. Okay, so you've jumped into clearly a well-known competitor, which is Treatwell. You talk about the market size, but there are a lot of words here, and I think you could make this much simpler and much more jumping out with some charts. It's said that the average amount of time an investor looks at a slide deck is, I think, something like 3 minutes. So if you haven't captured them in 3 minutes, you've lost them, and for that you need bright graphics, simple messaging, and a powerful story. So, all right, we now come to your, growth, and I think you've nailed it in terms of, I'm going to do A and then B and then C and a clear timeline. I think you've got quite a lot of stuff here. This looks a bit like my Trello product board. You want to slim that down. And in particular, if you're early stage, I'm guessing you don't have, 20 developers. So realistically, some of these things like client loyalty, VIP cards, they're quite big things to do. The next thing, which I think you've nailed, at least in the desire, is I'm always amazed when I see slide decks that pretend COVID doesn't exist. I mean, COVID's here. I would have said it's not about to go away, but maybe with vaccines, it is going to go away fairly soon. But regardless, if you're looking for investment now, you want to show that you're not just COVID aware, but really embracing it. And clearly in the land of any physical spaces, we know that people may not be going to salons or hairdressers or whatever it might be. So are you going to pretend that doesn't exist, or are you going to embrace it? So here, I think you've obviously mentioned the COVID piece. I think that clearly the COVID piece we all know is now, the opportunities now, and by next year it might have gone away. So I might put the slide before the previous one, which is focusing on COVID right now. The COVID-proof solution works even in whatever it might be. And I think you don't need to make the slide look the same as the previous slide, because you want to show that it's not a product roadmap feature, it's that you are embracing the opportunity right now. All right, so now we get to the revenue, and you may get to competition in a moment. I think the revenue, again, is all quite complicated here. You're forcing me to do a lot of work to read. What I would be looking for is a graph. Graphs always need to go up to the right, and I would look to see 20, 21, 22, 23. I'd like to see some idea of maybe two graphs. One of them says revenue, and the other one says EBITDA or profit and loss or whatever it might be. And then I can see at a glance where my money is going as the investor, and I can see at a glance as to when you're going to need to raise again. So you've given me quite a lot of detail here, which I think is challenging in two ways. Way number one is that you're forcing me, obviously, to do a lot of work to try and figure it out. And way number two is no business ever, proceeds exactly as planned. You're going to change your mind. SMS, no one's going to use SMS, or everyone's going to use SMS. So by putting a lot of detail, you're setting yourself up to have to explain later why things weren't as they are, as opposed to simplifying it to a few key vectors that you want to proceed on, which then gives you a lot more freedom later on. All right, so you've got your revenues. Again, you're forcing me to work really hard. I would expect a single line that shows, this, and this. Investors are looking for a 2x, 3x, or 4x annual growth rate on an early stage startup. And it's really hard for me to pick that out over here. So again, you've got your burn rate. I would just put that all onto one slide when, again, it's very hard for me to see how long my money will last as an investor. I think there is a slide on marketing. You don't have that many slides. We're only on 12 of 14. So you could have somewhat more slides. I don't think you need to kill the slide, but I'm not sure it's really adding much value other than you've got a marketing plan. So the next thing is on this slide, I think that's perfect, which is you end with the ask. I'd remove the options available because I think you mean we're happy to discuss, but it sounds like share options or something. It could be slightly ambiguous. 25% for 1.65 million. So you're raising 1.65 million, right? You might also remove the 25% because the 25% is essentially fixing your valuation. So you might say raising 1.65 million, and then the next slide is going to be a picture of you guys saying call Kim and Paul, and your emails. But I think you've now jumped from the end of the story to the more of the you've gone back into the story, right? So the last slide is, thank you, here's how to call us. I love the proposition. Assuming there is a market opportunity, it seems like a perfect SaaS business. But I think it is, that story is trying to struggle to come out of quite complicated graphics and messaging. So I hope this was valuable. Any thoughts, any questions?
I think it's been really valuable. It's been really good to see it through someone else's eyes because we are so deeply entrenched in it and we know all of the detail in it, and it's about picking out the detail that is the real headliners and getting that part out there. And I think we've probably just gone a bit too deep, so that's been really, really useful feedback.
Thank you so much. That's been amazing. I hope it was valuable.